Hello, class. It's been a stint and a day. It seems like it's been ages since we've been here at our race at Laguna Seca. We've had so much going on. We got the Roar Before 24, and we've got the Daytona 24 coming up. Roar Before 24 is tomorrow. The Daytona 24 is the following weekend, and we're establishing team activities, and we're putting together all these things. We've got the guys have been just throwing themselves at some work this week with the liveries and the logos. Just incredible stuff is happening, and I'm really excited. But I've also kind of let us down because I haven't got to this review. And well, there's not much to review on the incident search. We've got a whole bunch of reckless solo spins, as is the nature of Laguna Seca, and then we have 3 requests for review, which I will go into some detail on. All right, our first review here is actually the qualifying session, and has never really been brought up or discussed. It is listed in our driving standards, but it's never been a topic on these reviews or even really brought up in discussion in the at all teams. And it is requested by myself and the car behind me here. And you'll see we've just had this car has just come out of the pits, and they're a ways ahead. They're doing their best. They're putting down their first qualifying laps, and here I'm going to put this a little bit fast forward. This is me pulling away from the car behind me and approaching our new out of the pits. And I'm going to a little bit more fast forward. We'll zip through this. What's important? The rule we're looking at here is called impeding, and there's a bunch of different ways that impeding can happen. Recovering from a spin during the race and impeding traffic while you're getting back up to race pace. And in this case, it's a qualify lap. It's invalidating a qualifying lap and then impeding traffic because we're in qualifying. And what happens here is I close in, I pull away from the car behind me, and I get in closer and closer, and then I show respect and I don't try to overtake and slow him down because he's on a good qualifying lap. He's laying down his best laps, and that's his right to do the best. For me to try and pass him after closing that gap and catching him is disrespectful and inappropriate because he's on a good qualifying lap now. So I'm waiting patiently for him to make a mistake so that he can surrender the position and I can move on, and then I can go and I can head into my good qualifying laps. And we're about to see, while this is happening, I'm slowing down. Car behind me is now closing back in on the gap, so I'm giving up time. I'm showing respect. And here we go. There it is. We have the. Let me switch cameras. Oh, come on. Don't tell me my pause button isn't working. I hit pause. Lap 1, turn 1. Ah, the accordion. The good old accordion effect. And it's as unfortunate as this is, there's just some checkups and there's some hard pace going into turn 1 along with some checkups. And so nitty gritty is we have Kevin and myself. We have the punt, the minimum on the punt of 8p. So 8 penalty points to both yourself and myself. Now a lap after this is where it gets interesting in my book. It was brought up in polite discussion, as in checking on like, hey, I hope your car's okay. Did you got damaged, that kind of thing. Not really, because we have the penalties for discussion of incidents, and it's outside of that parameter, as it was a polite inquiry to like, I hope you're okay. Until I went negative on it by throwing out an accusation by saying I was punted into a punt, which I was completely wrong on because I was not. I heard the punt in front of me, which stopped the car in front of me pretty much, and then I punted into them. So I was even wrong. I didn't say somebody did it. I wasn't it wasn't a full-on accusation, but it's enough that I'm throwing myself an additional 8 penalty points at this one, because that is really just walking the line and opening up that door for the kind of stuff that is just downright not allowed. And that's that, call it like a gateway drug or whatever. I'd had no negative intention after when it happened. It was just my thoughts on what happened. So essentially, I was accusing an unknown because I didn't even know who it was or what it was. But it was an accusation, albeit unfounded and not directly pointed at somebody. So I am taking 8 penalty points on that one, which puts me by lap one, well, lap two, turn two, the Andretti hairpin, at a 16 points, which is a disqualification for this race. There we have our basic run-of-the-mill, just your average punt, which stems from, we've got a lap-down car and a slower and a faster car. We have just a misjudgment on a braking point and a punt. So just a basic racing misjudgment that will improve with time and will happen less and less often as we all get to know each other. But as a punt, we do have the minimum of 8 penalty points thrown here. Now, this track reentry was not requested for review. I'm going to take a moment to pretend that it was here because I could see merit in it if somebody did. So on a closer look here, what we have is the thing to consider are track limits. And so, albeit the optimal racing line is getting your outside tires onto this curbing to maximize your corner entry, which our number 3, currently position number 3 Chapeau car would optimally want to be on. And he takes evasive maneuvers to make sure that he's clean and doesn't get involved into an incident. So one could easily go, "Ooh, that could have been requested for review here." But it was not, and we don't actually have an infraction. As much as this is on its surface looks like, oh man, I can't believe he's coming on right there at the turn in for this corner. It's like, oh, I can't believe it. He's actually he's right on the perfect edge of doing this optimally, because the as much as the optimal racing line is on that curbing where he is, that's also not within the track. The racing surface. The racing surface is the white line, not the curbing. Now we'd have off-track limits which go beyond that, but the racing surface, he's not on the racing surface at this point, and there is so the overt reaction on Chapeau to avoid is his own personal measures to make sure that his race is good. So this would not have actually been an infraction, but it would have been so close. And I must point out that this pulling it that close is often how life-ending calamity would happen in the real world, and also race-ending calamity in the sim world. So now let's move on to what was reviewed and what or was requested for review, which is was put in as this entire next lap, starting from the start-finish line here. And what we have is a request. The request is for the lap-down car annoying him, not facilitating the pass. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward a little bit. I'll let it go at normal speed, so I don't have to do any weird pictures. This was a good, yes, because I'm going to figure this out. This was a good opportunity here to show, to display that respect for the faster car and to break out of the lift and break out of this early instead of going in and racing him through the corner. Because he makes the run up the inside. Granted, he doesn't affect the pass, but this is the opportunity for the lap down car to just lift, toss in the brakes, pull in behind, and allow that lap up car to have a go at it. So that was a missed opportunity to show, to display respect for others on the track, but also not wrong. It's not wrong to race your race and hold your line. So there's not actually anything wrong with that. It's not a penalizing effect. it is can be considered a discourteous or not as respectful. Then here into the next one, we have good racing room respect. He's left plenty of room for racing, so he's holding a line, he's holding a consistent line. He's racing well, albeit he's missing an opportunity to respect a faster car. And then there we have the almost a contact, which is he's getting frustrated because he's not able to affect this pass. He uses chat to display his disappointment, causing him to now just completely give up racing, which is unfortunate because that's not what anybody wants to do, is give up racing. But also, in point of using our push to talk, we've also now gone ahead and gotten off the track. For this my decision on this one was a 50-50 because we have no real. Oh, let me pause for a second. So the sporting code for iRacing has section 5.1.7.5. It's the blue flag. Blue flag, diagonal yellow stripes, indicates faster cars are approaching. This flag is informational only. In all cases, it is the responsibility of the faster car to safely overtake the slower car. It is the responsibility of the slower car to maintain a consistent line. It is strongly recommended that a slower car being lapped makes every reasonable effort to facilitate a safe pass. Now, that's why I went to the keys here. He held his line consistently, but he did not show that recommended respect of facilitating the safe pass. He held his line, but he also raced it for all it was worth. So that's not punishable, but it is questionable. It's speculative. And then we also have through the nature of that, then we have the misuse of the chat. So I went with a 50-50 on this one, as both parties involved, and in my opinion, disrespecting the chat is more suspect than racing your line consistently and hard, albeit showing a lack of consideration and respect to the faster car is frowned on, not wrong, because we don't know who you're racing with, what you could. There's just your strategic decision. There's too many things involved, so not wrong. But almost. But then the disrespect, misuse of at all teams, I almost feel is a worse, because that is an infraction, but I have waived that one due to the nature of the conflict that happened on this lap. Here we're going to have a shunt that showed up on the incident review search right there, and it's a part of it's a small part of a request for review on this here white flag lap, where there's a combination of different lapped cars fighting, of 5 cars on two different laps. We have 2 different battles going on, one with 3 cars and one with 2 cars fighting for position on the white flag lap. We start with the decision on the shunt, which is and typically it happens exactly in these situations where you have mid-corner, side-to-side contact that pushes a car off their line. And this is going to be on the 50-50 rule, because what I see here is respect. We have holding line, good room, good safe racing room, respectful, and a mild shunt. We have the ability the line is held well inside. 50-50 mild contact. There is no penalty here. This is good racing. Now, on the request for review as to the appropriateness of the consideration for a lap down car getting involved with a battle with lapped up, or being involved close in battling nature with cars a lap up on the white flag. Things we're going to look at right clear here. This is the checker flag. This is the line. This is the check. This is the start finish line at the checkered flag. This car and this car are battling for position, and this one, and where did the other one go? Ah, he's all the way back here because of from running out of fuel on the white flag lap. Now, I'm sure you know from covering the shunt there. This Ricardo here is in the mix with the 3 cars battling on the white flag, while he is literally only moments behind this guy, Tyler, on the white flag lap. So he's battling for this one, and the battle with the other three is slowing him down and allowing him really it's slowing him down because there's a battle in front of him that's preventing him from getting to the battle that he's involved in. So there's a lot going on in this review, but one thing that's clear is lap after lap, going back a lap, back another lap, Ricardo is closing hard on this. So he's putting in a lot of work to get this done. That battle is real, very real. He's getting closer and closer, and he's within striking distance of that position 13, on the white flag lap. Here is the white flag lap. There's a battle in front, and there's Ricardo easily being stuck into this battle that's in front of him, and the car behind him is also involved in the battle that's in front of him for position. Right here, Ricardo's held up from that he can't even move over to the racing line, which traps him on a defensive line, which is where this shunt comes from. He got trapped on the inside, and he fully braked out of it, allowed it to go, left room for safe racing, hence 50-50. So summary thoughts on this one here. I'm going to give this as I'm really excited to see this kind of racing. I see respect shown on everybody. There's different people having different races going on at the same time. There's the mildest of contacts while fighting for everything it's worth for positions. This is an excellent evolution to showing where we've come from to where we're headed. I'm really excited by this, and there's definitely there's nothing wrong with anybody's decisions in here. One could argue that respectfully, the lap down car, especially on the white flag, should just bail out and let the guys fight it out. But in the situations in here, being kind of trapped into the inside defensive line, and being so close after so long battling for that spot, he's got every reason to stay on this and wait, because anything could happen. The guy that he's battling with could slip up in the next corner and lose a couple more seconds and then get overtaken. There's different strategery ways to look at it that could be based on one's confidence levels in the battles, and Ricardo's definitely got confidence, and we love to see that. So I'm excited by this. This makes me feel really good about where we've come from, where we're at, and where we're going. Good stuff by everybody. Appreciate the requests on it too, because without knowing everything that's going on, there's reason to go, hey, what happened there? And because in general, a lap down car on the white flag lap, it is highly motivational to move out of the way, slap in behind them, let the lap up cars battle it out. That's a highly respectful move. So I can understand where this comes from.